Hey everybody, it's Kel-n-Rich. My name is Kel, and this is my husband Rich.
Welcome, guys. Thanks so much for being here. So this is a new segment that we have. We've done about 7 or 8 of these, and this is where we answer the questions, the burning questions that you have. No, this is not the place where we answer questions to requests from you going into the back door using the Ask Kel-n-Rich button on our website. This is where you have some questions for us. We're having a good time talking about relationships and keys to life and the meaning of life and
What?
Chips Ahoy
Chips Ahoy
versus Oreo and all the other questions that we get. And what albums or songs would we have if we were stranded on a desert island? Hopefully it's a warm desert island.
It has to be.
Yeah, nights it gets kind of cold though.
We'll just cuddle.
Yeah, and hopefully we could have the solar powered. Anyway, so what songs, what albums would we want to have with us on that fateful trip that ended us being on that island trapped forever? So tonight we're going to start with a really interesting question that have gotten a lot of snickers, certainly from us, from family members, when we say, hey, we have this YouTube channel. Oh yeah, what's it about? And they watch the video and they see everything from Kel's collar to my little tillies and fedoras and whatever else I have, and the way sometimes we've dressed.
Or talk.
Yeah, or talk or suggest. So we're gonna actually hit this one head on tonight. And the question comes from Judy.
Hi, Judy.
Female. How old? She wrote 2 times dirt. So that's pretty old. That's how, if you say, how old are you? I'm as old as dirt. Well, she's as old as twice dirt.
So glad that you're here 2 times dirt.
Yeah,
That's
Colorado.
awesome.
Colorado.
Love Colorado.
So
Beautiful.
not only is she as old as dirt 2 times, but she's high as hell. So I'm glad you're here. So here's the question. Are you guys in a capital D small s relationship? I'll read that again. Are you guys in a capital D small s relationship? Nicely worded.
Yes.
So, Kel, you want to take a crack at this one? You can start, and I'll fill in the tasty gaps.
So for those of you that may not know, a D/S relationship means submission and dominance relationship. So it comes from the practices of BDSM, which is bondage, discipline, sadism, and masochism. So it's a sexual connotation. So what it means that people are living in a relationship where one person is a control and another person is the submissive. We definitely do not live like that. So I am not his slave. He is not my master. I'm not his mistress. He's not my slave. Free will to do as we want, to think what we like, to be what we are. We have elements in our life of playing power games.
Power games.
And we're switches. But
yeah, technically, our category, we would be known as switches for those that know the life. Mm-hmm. That's what it would be.
But we do not live our life in that traditional 24/7 setting. It's very specific to when we're being intimate.
Yeah.
And it depends what happens, which way it goes.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it, in terms of it, was prompted by Kel wearing a collar. So many of you watching will look at that and go, what you talking about, Willis?
And this collar, I was previously a huge goth princess, and I did that whole lifestyle for a long time, and I loved it. I've been wearing collars and chokers since I could pick my own clothes. I love the way they look. I love collars with cameos in them. But this was the first collar.
Cameos?
Cameo is it's from England mostly, and they're usually made of ivory, and they're the little woman with the bun.
Oh, okay.
They're just very beautiful,
okay. Yeah.
and they're gorgeous, and they're usually on a piece of ribbon or lace.
Gotcha.
Anyways.
So she came from that. Okay?
Yeah.
That was the style of clothing that she preferred at a certain time of her life. Okay, so let's just get that clear, and then we'll tell you where the collar came from.
You don't see it on the channel, but I'm very much a girly girl. I have frills, and I used to buy flouncy shirts because I love the Renaissance period, and I used to sew huge medieval cloaks and give them to my friends, and so there's that whole other side of me that's not evident here. And when we go out, I love to dress up in dresses and sparkles and heels and hats. And this is it's the first and only collar that anybody's ever given me. And the collars that I have now are ones that he's given me, but he's given me bracelets and earrings, and he buys me dresses, and
Right.
he follows my stylistic cues.
I gave her this collar for a reason. So again, those that understand what that means, I was presenting her with a collar. She could say yes or no. I knew what that meant, but also it wasn't in the traditional sense like we started talking about. That wasn't what I was expecting of her. It was my first true gift, and it was going to be the only collar that she ever put on, the first and last one, if she put it on. Because if you know about this, it can be even more significant than the wedding ring. The second gift was when I presented her with the wedding ring, with the engagement ring, and then that's more of the traditional marriage. So that's where the collar comes from. So she wears it around. She doesn't always have to wear it. If she likes to have an outfit on that doesn't go with the collar, she doesn't do it. If we're going to a formal event and she's like, yeah, let's.
And equally, he's bought me, it's gold rhinestones, and it's a 6-layer collar, and it's beautiful, and it's a choker, and that goes with some of my dresses. So it's a great question. We do not live the 24/7 lifestyle.
Nope.
And we have no interest in doing that.
Nope. And we're just to ourselves.
Yeah, but we very much share a very special bond and feel very privileged to be able to be together. And it's very sacred to be able to be your wife. That's very deep and meaningful to me. And I just love you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a great question. Hopefully that answer satisfies you.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, and if anybody has any other questions, there's a lot to learn about the life and about that side of life and intimacy. And we'll be happy to share what we can so we don't violate any community standards on
Yes.
YouTube. But it's an interesting thing to learn about. Certainly when you're first exposed to it, it's like, people do what? Why would you do that? Or, oh, that's really interesting. Or, oh, that's what that's totally me. So there's lots to learn, and there's no one right way to learn. Okay, you could be 18 years old, or you could be 80 years old learning about this stuff, and it can mean it has certain significance to some people and nothing to other people. In our case, this is her collar. She wears it when she wants to, and I gave it to her. She accepted it, and if you want to look up what that means about collaring somebody, be my guest. All right, next question.
Thanks
Great
for
question,
asking.
Judy. Thank you so much. So we're going to start now with Ron, and he's 47 from Dayton, Ohio.
Hi, Ron.
Question. Have you both seen the movie Rockstar?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
One of my favorites.
Steel Dragon.
Totally. Mark
It was
Wahlberg.
made a few years ago back and is loosely based on the life of my friend Tim Ripper Owens, formerly of Judas Priest, Iced Earth, Beyond Fear,
That's fun.
Lux Dios Disciples, and others. It has a soundtrack to it, yes. Fantastic soundtrack. Most of the songs are done by a band called Steel Dragon and play throughout the film. There's a song called We All Die Young. If you have heard it already, I'm sure it has touched your hearts. I have a son who's 23, and we're trying to fight through this cold-hearted world. People like you bring in the sun and make so many of us smile.
Thank you
Much
so
love.
much.
Very kind, Ron.
Thank you, Ron.
That's great.
Please give your son our horns up,
Absolutely.
fists in the air,
Absolutely.
and let him know that we're here.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for writing in.
Kelly just to check something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Something's going on with the camera.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Okay.
Okay, it's just
great.
because it's nighttime and I thought it was auto-focusing.
Right.
Okay, next question. We just mark that. We have a little system here where we mark things as read so we know and keep track.
Whenever we answer your questions on the in the database there, we have an opportunity to put a little gold star, and so that's like our bookmark, so we know that we didn't miss any of the questions.
Absolutely. So Mike D.
Hi,
from Holiday, Florida.
Oh.
Whoa, 50 years old. Where's Holiday?
That
Hang on.
way, I think.
It's in the other room, apparently.
It's
Have you
across the
both thought
water.
about playing music together? And if so, as a thought, use your son's guitar. That's the white King. I'm losing my Flying V. King.
Jackson.
Yes, Jackson. Sorry. Yeah, that was his. He played that on stage and practiced. He saved that. He saved money for that for like a year and a half, and he finally bought it. It was like $2,600 or something. And yeah, now I have it, and it's with us each video. Yeah, use it as a tribute to him. Sorry if this is too deep right now. No, it's not too deep.
It's a great question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, certainly. I have experience with drums, with brass. I can sing as long as I'm
Yes.
warmed up, and certainly Kel's going to be getting that baby grand digital soon.
I don't know
And
when, but she's coming
yeah,
soon.
it's we're gearing up for it, and we're gonna have a whole separate part of the channel dedicated to that and watching her
Yeah.
create like she's never created before.
I have
So
a few skills I have to pick up first, but
yeah, so we're gonna definitely be playing music together, and
thank you. Yes.
not very 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 soon, but I'd say pretty soon, probably within the year. So.
Well, and the interesting thing about music is that it's been proven over and over again, you don't have to have any training whatsoever to be good. So just because people haven't gone to school, you can be an innate musician. It can be the genius within you, and all it takes is the right amount of circumstances to pull it out. There's tons of urban stories about people who sit down at the piano at the bar and rip out music, and the story goes, this guy sat down next to the piano and looked at it, and his friend said, "Hey, do you play?" He said, "Nope." And he started playing. And he instinctively knew, and he was in his 50s. So it's like, you just, sometimes when that little baby grand arrives and have a few things here and get his voice warmed up and get me to learn some of the scales I never learned, like the blues and the jazz, then we'll see what we can come up with.
Absolutely.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a great question.
Yeah. Okay, next one from Bill, 63, in Brea, California. I'm loving
Hi,
this
Bill.
new segment. Hey, Bill. I wish you guys were doing this in 2012, 2013 when I could have used it. I'm in a good place right now, and with all my life experiences, I'll try to put in my 2 cents worth in the comments, but only if I have something to say. Rich, did you go to Springfield Civic Center, which is in Massachusetts, for concerts? Yes, I did, Bill. If so, what were your first 5 concerts? Mine were Three Dog Night, Joy to the World.
Oh, right. The Joy to the World
Right.
people.
Jay Giles Band. I saw them there.
Did you?
I did. Grand Funk Railroad, did not see them, with Wet Willie. 10 years after, and a huge show with Montrose, Black Oak, Arkansas, and Foghat headlining. Yeah. Kel, what were your... Okay, so I saw Def Leppard there. I saw... think back. Steve Miller Band. That was one of my first ones. I saw Billy Joel there.
Oh.
Chicago, no, that was Hartford Civic Center. I saw Chicago there. And what was the band? I think I saw Scorpions. No, that was Hartford also. So yeah, I have to think back because it was really Hartford Civic Center, Springfield Civic Center. Hartford, Connecticut. It's about 20 miles away from Springfield, south Hartford. So that was mine. So yeah, it's hard to say. Definitely Def Leppard. I saw Def Leppard in like 84, 85. Metallica came on the Ride the Lightning tour. I think they were Hartford also. I can't remember. Yeah, so Kel, what were your first concerts as a teenager, even classical ones, and what were the first ones you saw when you started your journey into metal?
So
Blessings to you both.
thanks, Bill. I played in my first orchestra at the age of 10. And so the strings teacher and the band teachers for the junior high and the elementary school that I belonged to, because it was a small city, got all of the schools together where she taught at all of the schools, and they created this huge orchestra and they put us together. So that was my first orchestra experience. But earlier that year in grade 5, we had a bunch of musicals come through and we had orchestras coming through, and I got asked to conduct. So before that orchestra was formed, I actually got an opportunity to have a little conducting lesson, and I got to conduct an orchestra in grade 5. And that was amazing. Even at 10 years old, even though I was just keeping time for them, the conductor set the time for me, and she gave me a little 5-minute intro as to what a conductor's job is to just keep everybody on track. You let the musicians play their music. My job is to just keep time in case anybody gets lost or anybody forgets, and to make sure that I can hear all the sections. So that was fun. And that was really one of my first concerts, was as the little conductor. And that was a very big moment for me, because as a little grade 5, she took me aside after they were all cleaning up, and she said, you know, if you ever wanted to be a conductor in the future, you should definitely do that. But I didn't pursue that. But then later, a few months later, I had my first orchestral experience being a part of playing the cello. And that was a lot of hard work, but it was amazing to sit amongst all the musicians from grade 5 all the way to grade 9. So there was a vast level of skill and diversity, and that was interesting. I saw Phantom of the Opera, which I think I was 6, and that made a huge impact on me. So maybe that's not a concert, but to me that counts as a massive performance. After that, it was a lot of orchestra and concert band participation, not so much going to. So I saw my first concert that I paid for a ticket. I was 18 years old, and I went to Vancouver, BC, and I saw REM. Nice. And then I saw U2. They were doing the Joshua Tree tour. And then I saw Sarah McLachlan a few years later.
That was Fumbling Towards Ecstasy?
Yep.
So that was 90...
That was 97.
So it came out in 90... No.
Yeah, it was because I was pregnant. So it was right before he was born. Surfacing.
Fumbling was 92, 93.
Right. And then the first metal show that I ever saw was Jared.
Yeah.
And I saw many of Jared's shows, as many as we could go to.
Probably 8 to 10.
Yeah. And then that was in...
Then we saw...
That was in 2016.
And it wasn't Maroon. Right, so Maroon...
No.
I know Maroon was after that, right?
The Foo and Maroon were after.
Yeah, Foo Fighters, Maroon. That's not metal, but...
No.
And then it was... We saw Dream Theater first.
When we were married, we saw David Gilmour.
Yeah, again, not metal.
And then we saw Dream Theater in Albany.
And then we saw Metallica.
And then you took me to Pasadena.
And then we saw Metallica again in Albany. And then we saw Dream Theater.
Yeah.
And then, again, Together.
Yeah. So I didn't really get to metal at all until like 2015.
Yeah.
When we started dating.
Yeah. And now we're going to see, we just saw Kiss. We've seen...
Oh my God, the list this summer. So it's been so fun. I have a little concert list. We saw Judas Priest in May. We saw Tool in May in Jacksonville. We saw Iron Maiden in Fort Lauderdale. We saw Kiss last night. We're going to see Disturbed in September. And then we're going to see Delane in October.
Yeah, so far that's That's
So it's
that.
very exciting. We've done so many shows this year. So hopefully that answers your question.
There you go, Bill.
Thank you for the question.
More than you asked for, but
Yes.
okay. So this is Hollis in Austin, Texas, age 60.
Hi, Hollis.
Do you like Yes?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
them.
Would we review a few? Definitely. Are we going to talk about what you asked here? No. But that was a good question. Do we like Yes?
We've done some.
Yeah. So look, if you haven't seen those videos, just do Kel-n-Rich, K-E-L-N-R-I-C-H in Google or YouTube or whatever browser you're using.
With the word yes.
And just write Yes.
And it'll come up.
And come up. Okay. So Ken, 57
Kent.
in... I'm sorry, Kent. Yes.
Hi, Kent.
In Medford, Oregon, 57 years old. Not really a question, but I saw a telephone line today and was going to show my girlfriend Kel's reaction. Sad and maybe a bit pissed to see it was blocked. I know. This is the
That's what
thing.
happens. That's what
As
happens.
I see, sometimes it just blocks immediately. This time it was up for a little while and then it
Yes,
got blocked.
Then it got
Like,
blocked.
damn. As I see it, you're bringing great music and artists back into the limelight, and they should be thanking you, not blocking you. I know. Keep up the
Thanks,
great work.
Kent.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We're always trying to find a way around it.
Yeah. Okay, Bill, you got your question answered, and it was yes. You re-entered
Yes.
it, and it's all good. This is Joe, 69 years
Hi,
old,
Joe.
from Gary, Indiana. When making a band request, would you have an aversion to music from bands that sing in a foreign language? No.
Absolutely not.
No, bring it on. We just did Versailles today.
Japanese.
Oh my God, Kai, Japanese Kai. Fantastic.
Oh my God, they were amazing.
We've done Skalmol from...
We also did Hai Lung.
Yeah, we did Hailung. We've done...
And we did
The Who.
The Who.
Yep.
But we also did Dark Sarah, and part of their singing is in Italian.
Yeah. So
And-
yes, we've done lots of bands. We've done lots and
Yeah.
lots of bands.
Yeah,
And
totally
we're
open to
totally open to it. Okay, it just has to rock or it has to really move us. So something melodic, something symphonic, yes, that where the melody of the song, but if it's
The
really
foreign-
choppy and it's kind of harsh.
The foreign languages we tend to stay away from are scream and growl.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
So
Yes.
thank you for asking.
Totally. All right, just let me click as we go here so we don't screw it up. Okay, James,
Hi,
60
James.
years old, from Atlanta, GA.
Thank you for your message.
Okay, I'm going to read this.
Okay.
First, let me express consolation for the loss of your son. Thanks.
Thank you.
It's hard enough losing a family member, but worse if the person is a child. I love that you display for each other. The love that you display for each other makes my day worthwhile.
Thank you.
I'm an old man who has no friends and lives alone. My body is wearing down rapidly, but I try to deal with what I am dealt. I don't request music because I haven't heard it before. I don't request music because I haven't heard it before, and I won most of it on CD. I request only the special songs which I would like Kel to hear first. I know she likes classical instruments mixed with rock. That's why I requested ELO Living Thing. She knows Living Thing. The live version. She does not know the live version, so we're definitely going to do that. I've requested this for you previously. I've also requested one more song. I wanted to hear Stairway to Heaven, sung at the Kennedy Center by Heart to honor Led Zeppelin. I know that she hasn't heard that or seen that. I just wanted you guys to hear the version before they take it off YouTube since it was a special event. Good point. Thank you, and I hope to communicate with you more often. Jim, here are the links.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. Your heart's in a great place. I wanted to read that because, again, it was chunky.
And it's meaningful.
And it's meaningful, and thank you for that.
Yeah.
That sentiment, and yeah, just make sure it's in the request engine, or we just can't track it. All right, Charles,
Hi,
60 years
Charles.
old, from Pittsburgh, PA. Rich, does Kel ever turn you on to new music that you've never heard?
It's a great question.
Well, here's the thing. We're trying not to find music at this point other than what you guys are requesting. I'm just bringing forward what I know and saying, Kel, you gotta hear this. And then I'm using your requests 90% of the time, the other percent of the time. So as far as Kel introducing me to music, you answer that.
There was a time when we first met Portishead,
3 Days Grace.
Massive Attack,
Massive
3
Attack.
Days Grace, Elastica. Those were things that I would listen to. And so he had not really had much experience with them at all. So those were 4 bands that I brought to him.
Definitely.
Typo Negative, as soon as I saw it in the comments, I just didn't say anything. It's one of my,
Yeah.
from my past. I love them, Peter Steele.
Peter Steele.
But I
in
didn't
peace,
say anything
bro.
because now it's taken a whole new meaning on. I don't want to, if I know of a band and he doesn't, I just let it be a surprise. I don't say anything. And then because we're having so much fun discovering, and I still know far, far, far less than all of you. So chances of that happening now are less.
Yeah.
But it has happened in the past.
Great question.
Great question.
Thank you so much, Charles. And another question that Charles asked, 60 years old from PA, Pittsburgh. After listening to a couple of videos lately, you have mentioned how many requests you got for a song. Is that the way you decide on what you're going to play? So that's part of it, definitely. If we see it more than like 2 or 3 times, it's like, what is this?
If we see a song 60 times,
we have,
or
but
even
not in the
15,
engine yet. Not in the engine yet.
Right? Then we obviously are like, oh, this song keeps it comes up.
Yeah, and we've done a lot of those
Yeah.
highly requested songs, and we mention it on each of our videos.
Yeah.
I put a couple requests in lately of bands that have great songs, but I'm sure a few people have heard. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a mathematical problem that we have. There's so many of you, there's even more songs, and there's 2 of us, and there's 1 camera, and there's a couple hours a day at the most. So we're sorry if we can't get to your requests, but we really appreciate you sending them, because eventually it's going to come around. Either the band will come around, or the song, or the song, but not the version that you wanted, or it's a cover of it. So it's, we're mixing it up. We're spreading the subgenres around. Is there any chance that you would do a review of a band that no one was heard of? Absolutely. And I'm hoping that we've done a couple of them. Certainly. Something comes to mind is the one we did today, Versailles. A lot of people are commenting like, I've never heard this. But
sometimes new bands have contacted us, and we have put their
yeah.
the channel.
We've done several of them.
That's happened a few times.
Mission Jupiter.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times now.
Yep. Schumann.
Yeah.
A couple. What inevitably happens, they'll get 100 to 200 clicks, and then they'll fall off the new radar, and they'll just kind of limp along because, again, they don't have the notoriety yet. But certainly bring it on.
Yeah.
And we have a section of where we're doing unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We have to build that up. We're trying to get through the popular stuff. We want to get through the well diggers. There's so much to do. We're going to have 1 slot each day when we get production days cemented in, where we do those unnamed bands. You can guarantee that. Even unnamed bands from the 80s that maybe had a hit, didn't get radio play, but it's a great song. So we've had some advisors give us lists of those, Wayne Klinger being one of them. Thank you, my brother.
Hi, Wayne.
All right, cool.
Thanks for all your effort. Thanks for the question. That's a great question.
Yeah, so Charlie, you asked the question twice. It showed up, so we're good with that. And Ricardo dos Reis Schmidt, thank you for the song requests. Please put them on the request engine. We're just going to go to the next page.
Actually, I think we should stop here because it's,
it's 30 minutes.
28
Perfect.
almost.
Excellent. So
We're trying to keep the segment to 30 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to come back with a lot more. We're just going to turn the camera off, come right back on with more Ask Kel-n-Rich. And
Thanks for your questions.
Yeah, and just look for the other segment, the other video called Has Kel heard this song yet? Or does she know this song?
Yeah, right.
And the category is nope. And not really. And yes, Rich, I know this song. I know it well. All right, so come back. As
Thanks.
Chuck Woolery used to say, in 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
Whew.
Game shows. Maybe we'll do a segment on game shows. She never watched game shows at all.
No.
Later.
No. Bye.